Alright guys, I'm back here with Let's Be Honest Sports. This is Austin McWaters along with my man Colin Shada. We're out here. Got the cameraman Nate Krebs holding it down for us. Wouldn't be possible without him. Appreciate it. Got our new t-shirts in, just a little trial one with our new logo. I hope y'all like it.
Comment, let us know. Let us know if you like it, let us know.
Absolutely. Because we love feedback, all the feedback. Instagram at Let's Be Honest Sports.
We want to make this content better for you. Yeah. Better for our viewers.
Always. Like I said, always, this is not your typical sports talk show. We don't give a fuck. We'll cuss, we'll drink, we don't care. Right now, we got the Raiders at Chargers on, or Chargers at Raiders, rather.
We are not sponsored by anyone.
Nope. But maybe one day.
Let's talk about the weekend. Talk about games.
Yeah, we're gonna go right into the week 10 of college football recap. Yeah, man, we can jump right into Georgia, Florida. Thought got your ass on that shit. I told you what was gonna happen, and it did happen. Georgia covered like I said they would. Jake Fromm came out, threw the ball well. I said the Gators needed to stop. They needed to stop the run, and they did, really. If you look at it, DeAndre Swift had 64 yards rushing. Jake Fromm, he stood back in the pocket and passed. The O-line looked, phenomenal for Georgia. But I will give a lot of criticism to Ty Grantham. He brought almost zero pressure all game long. He brought four rushers all game. You know, it was a pretty shitty defensive play calling. And you can't say, motherfucker, in that first drive, though, that was an incomplete pass.
I didn't see the first drive.
Well, anyway.
We were busy trying to get the game pulled up. So, I was there in Jacksonville at a big tailgate. It was a lot of fun. A lot better than last year. Last year we both went. Yeah. It was awful.
It looked like it.
It was a lot better. Had a live DJ, everything. Like, paid big money for a DJ out of, like, Tallahassee or something. Had a big setup. It was a lot of fun, but come game time, they're still sitting there partying. No TV is brought out. I said, look, I'm here to watch a football game.
Yeah. So
me and Caroline go walk around the stadium. So I start asking people for nosebleed tickets because I'm like, I gotta watch this game somehow. Try to find other people's tailgates, but they're all shutting down the tailgate. I'm just like, where y'all going? The game's starting now. Nobody's watching the game. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Walk around the stadium. But they're offering these nosebleeds for $125 a piece. I said, absolutely not. It's like section 400 and stuff. I'm like, no, not happening. But we go back, and finally I was about to call an Uber, go back to the hotel and watch the game because I was sick of it. They were pissing me off by not having the game plan. But we get back, they're setting the TV up. Finally they get started. So I missed the whole first drive. I missed the whole. I think y'all went for on the fourth down or something and didn't get it. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, we went down, drove down the field. We had to go for it on fourth down because they called it short. They reviewed it. Anyways, I'm not saying that was a game changer, that fucked up call, but it was just kind of aggravating because we had a little bit of momentum on offense, and then it stalled on that fourth down conversion being failed. But the pass, it literally hit the fucking ground, and even Gene Steratore said that was an incomplete pass, and they came back.
You're talking about the one where Lawrence Cager. Is that what you're talking about?
It
was incomplete, but they called it complete because they were making up for the missed pass interference.
Either way,
like C.J. Henderson, I think that's who was covering him. He was holding him before he got the ball. I think that's why they called it complete, was because they missed the pass interference completely.
Well, I'm going to go on the record and say either way, as a Florida fan, the defense looked fucking horrible. Ty Grantham brought pressure maybe twice all game that I could think of. And I questioned it all week how healthy was Grenard and Zuniga. Zuniga didn't even make it out the first quarter, and he was out.
Really? I didn't know that.
Tony, how healthy was he? He was in the game maybe twice. And it was just as a fucking decoy. He didn't get a touch. So then that falls back on Mullen. And what are you doing? That's that's going to define more than likely who goes to SC championship. And you're gonna have to throw it all. You got to put it on the line.
Maybe.
And that's what's gonna happen with the Alabama game against LSU. What we'll get into is Nick Saban's gonna throw to his ass out there, but we'll get into that later. I'll let y'all know what I got to say. Then Notre Dame.
Well, let me say my piece on Georgia, Florida. I would agree. Florida's defense didn't look the same, but I will say play calling for Georgia was much better. James Coley, obviously, like during the bye week, made some changes. Hopefully this is one of those things where we had a bad loss, and hopefully we're picking up steam now, just like it's been the past 3 years under Kirby. He's been there this is his fourth, but the past 3 years we've had one bad loss, gotten it together. Hopefully we just keep moving up from here. I think it was just well balanced on offense. I mean, we didn't, it wasn't just an all-out run game. Y'all did well stopping the run. Jake Fromm did have a huge game. He's done huge against Florida his past 3 years being here. I like that he was able to just shut out the haters. I wasn't happy with how he performed against South Carolina, but I never said, that he shouldn't be the starter or anything like that. Like, I love Jake Fromm. He's done great for his university. Why doubt him now because he had one bad game at the university? I mean, that was everybody calling for Jake Fromm's head after that one game was just dumb, and he shut them all up after this game. I think Lawrence Cage being back was huge. I mean, most of our big plays was to him. Obviously, most of those third down conversions.
Yeah.
Third down conversion was a big deal in that game too.
Yeah, for sure.
Georgia's defense stopped Florida a lot of times on third down. Florida's defense didn't. Yeah. There was also some big catches in that game too. When Brian Herring caught that one-handed ball, that was a great catch on the sideline. Like 3rd and 15, caught on the sideline. That was a huge catch.
You couldn't do nothing against. You can't stop any shit like that.
Yeah, that was just a great catch on his part.
Overall, it just looked like to me Georgia was ready and Florida wasn't. And that just goes to what I was saying all last week is I wish nobody would jump on the Florida bandwagon. Because look what happened. And I knew it because it happens all the time. And I thought a lot too with that game was the talent difference. You could tell a lot of the talent difference. And I know people like, oh, stars don't always mean shit. Well, it does at some point, sometime. And I think it showed a lot Saturday.
Yeah, I think Georgia's offensive line looked a lot better in that game also. They looked terrible. Like, all through this season, they looked terrible until that game.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. I'm glad it happened. But I hope we just continue moving up. I don't like people's talk about, this is like going to be the winner, or this is going to be the determining factor of the SEC East. Georgia still got to play Missouri this weekend. That game is like a sleeper because you just don't know what Missouri team's going to show up. Now, I'll talk about it in a little bit, but given that it's an away game for Missouri, it's a different story. But then we got Auburn at Auburn. That's the big factor there, is that it's at Auburn.
But keep in mind, Georgia has to lose two of the next three SEC games, whatever. They have to lose them, and Florida has to win out. Now, not saying that it's not possible, but I wouldn't expect it because they have to drop 2. So, I mean, that's really out of the question. I don't know. Because Missouri, I don't know what the fuck they got going on, really, personally. But I get Notre Dame, they played decent, but fuck Notre Dame. To any Notre Dame fan out there.
Yeah, Notre Dame, they don't look.
I want to jump into Ole Miss at Auburn. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of the game. All I can say is, man, they squeaked it out because Ole Miss had a chance to at least drive down the field. I watched some of it. They had a chance to make it close or to perhaps win it, and some calls didn't go the way, whatever it might be. But Auburn needs to figure it out something because they still got a lot to play for with only 2 losses. Mm-hmm. They've got a lot to play for, just like Florida has a lot to play for with 2 losses, because you can still go to a New Year's Six. You went out. There's a lot of the top 10 teams still have to fucking play each other.
The 10-2 season it looks a lot better than a 9-3.
Yeah, it does. And so a lot of teams want to give up. Don't give up, man. I mean, they got a lot going for them, but we'll see how it goes.
I'll be honest, I didn't catch a lot of games from this weekend at all, just being at the tailgate and stuff.
Me either. I really watched a lot of the UFC 244 main card. We'll get into that. That was a fucking phenomenal card. SMU, winning against Memphis.
No, Memphis won.
Or Memphis won, I'm sorry.
SMU did cover. Well,
Yeah.
according to I think ours was 6.5 points.
Yeah.
And so SMU covered, but that was also, Memphis was up big time. They dominated that game pretty much. From what I saw scores, and I saw that Memphis was up by, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, I think, at one point. SMU came back, but it just wasn't enough, obviously, there at the end.
I want to just jump into one main NFL game from last week that we and him went at it, and I told him Patriots hadn't played a defense or the Patriots hadn't played an offense like the Ravens, and it proved to be true. Lamar Jackson and company came ready to play like I figured, and he put on a fucking show. And so, also I picked the Ravens to win that game. That was the Patriots. Their defense, that was the toughest test they had all year.
I think
you look at their schedule.
Yeah.
Their schedule is very favorable.
Yeah.
Regardless, they could not lose another game.
Yeah. Also, since we're just going to go off of, ones that we picked differently, I think we also picked different on the Lions and Raiders game. I think the Raiders won that, didn't they?
I don't know. Fact check that for us. There, Nate.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, I think the Raiders did win because Raiders were 3-4.
Yeah, it was like I know
Josh Jacobs had a pretty solid day.
I think one of my factors in deciding the outright winner of that game was the fact that I think the Raiders were like 4-2 at home against the Lions.
Yeah, Raiders won 31-24.
Yeah, I think that was my deciding factor was that trend that the Raiders were, I think, 4-2 against the Lions at home. Now they're 5-2. I just think when you're traveling, that far, it's just, I think that's a big factor for anyone. For any team. But again, I didn't catch a lot of those games either. I was on the way back from Jacksonville, so.
Well, I want to touch on a couple things from UFC 244 from Madison Square Garden. I know we picked on the main card last week, but I want to go off to the undercard, which was the main event on the ESPN Saturday night. Corey Anderson absolutely derailed the Johnny Walker hype train. Johnny Walker had been on a fucking tear, man. What a savage. And Corey Anderson comes in and just he stuns him, dude.
Yeah.
Stuns him, and he let him have it after the fight. And Johnny Walker didn't know where he was at. Standing up, knocked out, and he was just confused. I think Corey Anderson he was sick of hearing the Johnny Walker bullshit. And don't get me, Johnny Walker is a tremendous fighter. He would be world class for sure. But man, I just wanted to start off with that. But we're gonna go with the first fight on the card. Kevin Lee. He was on a 2-fight skid. Changed camps. Came in against Gregor Gillespie, man, and just fucking first round KO, head kick, left high kick to the head, man. Fucking beautiful. Couldn't draw up a better knockout, man. Congrats to Kevin Lee. I picked him. Derek Lewis, the next fight up, I thought he looked fairly well. There was some bombs fucking dropped in that fight. He won by decision. Holy shit.
I'm so mad I didn't get to watch any of those.
Man,
so we got back to the hood sale. I think Kevin Lee and Derek Lewis already fought, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy it for $65. Just for 3 fights. So.
But man, and then Stephen Thompson, he came out and did his thing.
Oh, Wonder Boy
by decision. Then Till, man, came in up weight against Kevin Gastelum, who could fucking hit like a freight train.
You see Dan said he was afraid of Kevin Gastelum or something like that. So in that fight.
I would be too. Till was on a 2-fight skid as well. Both knockout losses.
So Kevin Gastelum just looks like someone you don't want to mess with.
And then Till, he got it done. Decision, good for him. Then the main event, everybody was looking for the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Title was on the line. George Masvidal looked fucking phenomenal. I mean, you could have easily, before that fight, rounds 1 through 3 could have been scored 10-8 Masvidal. Looked fucking...
So when did they call it? What round was it?
It was the end of round 3. They called it the end of round 3. But keep in mind, Canelo Alvarez was fighting Saturday night. They fucking waited till UFC 244 was over to play for Canelo to walk out. And so if you're going to sit here and tell me that fucking the UFC isn't bigger than boxing, talk to DAZN. Please, talk to DAZN. The people who aired the fight. You got Canelo Alvarez and Sergey sitting in the locker room, laced the fuck up, sitting back in their damn chairs, and they're playing UFC 244 in the arena. That right there is a blow to boxing. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of boxers that I like that are out there, but that just tells you UFC. UFC would never do that. It doesn't matter how big the fight. Don't matter.
And there's just,
so I thought that was a fucking big ordeal, in my opinion, for them to do that shit.
Yeah.
But you know that's me. I thought the decision to pull Diaz from that fight was kind of horseshit. But keep in mind, it was 2 years ago that MMA was finally passed in the state of New York. So that may be why Las Vegas would have definitely let that fight go 5 rounds without a doubt. I mean, it's Las Vegas.
I think a big factor in that fight, just Masvidal has a lot of like his intuition in fights is just huge.
Yeah.
Like
refill.
He's able to just, you know, see how a fight's going and kind of change his game plan as the fight's going. You know, he's very I don't know if intuition is a good word for it, but he's able to just change in the middle of the fight, you know, to the point where things are, you know, if they're not going in his favor, he can make them in his favor. Just, I don't know what a good word for it is, but just the fact that he was able to, like, completely, it looked bad. I mean, I saw when they did his face, it looked terrible.
Well,
it's like the fight before that when he knocked out, who was it, that he got the flying knee on, like, literally 4 seconds. Yeah, like, he just saw that opening and went for it. Like, just those things right there.
He also practiced that before the fight. Before the
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this, Nate Diaz usually turns it on in the late rounds.
That's true, yeah.
And his cardio stands up. He usually takes the beating early. And we'll never know if Masvidal's cardio would have withstanded another 2 rounds, which I believe it could have. But that's all I got to say on last week. Week 11 college football. You got Penn State at Minnesota. Minnesota's undefeated. Penn State -7. Penn State currently ranked 4th in the first college football playoff rankings.
Let's talk about that before we get into the pick. Let's talk about how we feel about the top 4, or let's just do, you know, the top 10. Let's do top 10.
Yeah, we'll go top 10.
Just briefly, we'll go to top 10. Probably get more into, like, you know, 1 through 5, since that's the big debate.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the games of the week that we're picking from. And
only thing I was shocked about, not really shocked, I don't know how to explain how I felt when I seen Penn State ahead of Clemson, and with Clemson sitting at 5. Because Clemson's a team, they can turn it on whenever the fuck they want to, but that was the biggest takeaway for me. I mean, I know Penn State's got some more quality wins, but I mean, Penn State and Ohio State still got to play each other. That is what it is on that note. That's all I got to say about it.
I think
I did notice they favored more 2-loss teams than some undefeated or 1-loss teams just because of strength of schedule.
Yeah, I think they made strength of schedule a big factor in this one. Aside from the fact of putting Bama at 3, I think if you're going to put Clemson at 5, I don't know how you could put Bama ahead of a Penn State team if the strength of schedule is that big of a factor, because Bama hasn't played anyone but Texas A&M. And Texas A&M, we're coming to find out, is not that great this year.
Yeah, that kind of like last year. So.
Yeah, I think Ohio State at 1, LSU at 2. Strength of schedule wise, LSU should be 1, period. But I understand their reasoning. They say Ohio State's just look, just great in all factors of the game, offense, defense. They've just obliterated every opponent, which I get that. But at the same time, LSU has a much harder schedule. They've been able to show out every week and win those games, regardless if it was, I know they only won by 3 to Auburn a couple weeks ago, but still, they were dominant in that game. They could have won by more than 3. I think Clemson at 5 it obviously shook a lot of people up, but that was all for a reason. It's almost like you could say a conspiracy. There's a reason for that and why the committee's doing that. It's because they want to try and show that their strength of schedule deal is a huge factor into how they're picking.
It doesn't.
When in reality, it's not, because when you look at it, 2 and 3 plays each other this weekend. 1 and 4 is going to play each other at some point, and they know Clemson's going to win out. So regardless, Clemson moves up because they're going to win out and be undefeated into the playoff. So they can argue all they want about their strength of schedule, but they know what the ending, end of the season is going to be. Clemson will be in the top 4 because they're going to win out. So it's almost just their way of saying, strength of schedule matters, but really does it, because at the end of the season, Clemson's going to be up at the top regardless.
Well, they're going to take the conference champion out of a Power 5 anyways. So more than likely, unless there's 5 of them, which is not happening. But fuck it. Going into Penn State at Minnesota. Minnesota's undefeated on their high horse. Played absolutely fucking nobody. But I will say Rodney Smith, running back for fucking Minnesota, is a savage, raw motherfucker. 889 yards on the year. I mean, Minnesota got a little run game, but Penn State's defense is only allowing 64 yards rushing a game. We'll see how that goes. Then again, Minnesota's defense is 13th in the nation, 26 against the rush, 9th against the pass. So we'll see. Penn State, Sean Clifford with 20 touchdown passes this year. He gets going, I think it'll be a long day for Minnesota. Playing in that dome, I think Sean Clifford and Penn State take it big.
Yeah, I agree. Minnesota just really has not played any
big motherfuckers win big. Penn State by 1,000.
Don't pick those odds.
Not by 1,000, but you get where I'm going.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. You see where Minnesota ended up in the rankings. What was it, like 17 or something? The committee sees that they played. They're undefeated, and yet they're at 17. The committee sees they played absolutely nobody. Early in the season, I think they've won. I think they beat like Georgia Southern by 3. I think their first 4 games.
But you gotta kind of feel bad
won.
for Minnesota, because this was the chance for College Game Day to come there, and then it just so happened to fall on Alabama or LSU at Alabama.
Yeah. Because
Minnesota was dying for that, but I still think that dome's gonna be fucking rocking early, son.
Yeah, and is this an 11 o'clock game? It might be 2.
Fact check that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I actually just had Penn State outright winning, but I think they cover too. I think.
You think they cover? I think they win.
I think that mine was at 6.5 when I looked. Spread wise, it's probably much worse now.
11 a.m. Oh yeah, early bird.
Yeah, early game.
Minnesota ain't gonna be ready.
No. And I think they have not played a team as well as Penn State is, especially running the football. Penn State's really well running the football.
The foosball.
And you see the teams Penn State's played. They've played Michigan, I know they ain't all that this year, but it's still better than any team Minnesota's played. Michigan State, and who else? Has Penn State played Wisconsin? No, I don't think so. But either way, the defenses that Penn State's played are much better than Minnesota's resume that they show. I'm definitely going to go with Penn State. They're going to cover it easily. And then the Minnesota hype train's going to go down. I will say, though, that I forget the coach's name from Minnesota. Is it like Pat Flynn or something? Something like that. But the agent for that coach is a genius, because he got him to sign that contract this week before their schedule gets tough and it goes downhill. So that agent's a genius for getting that big contract for that guy. But he's still doing a good job, don't get me wrong. But their schedule's going to be much harder after going from this week on. And they're not going to – I see them at least having probably 3 losses at the end of the season.
Yeah, but with that ranking, Penn State could be riding high. And there's always that chance with a fucking Big Ten team. Minnesota comes in and just puts it on that ass.
Could be.
But,
Good. I'm going to stick with Penn State.
Oh, yeah.
6.5.
You can't
pick them on the spread.
you can't trust Minnesota. Not the Golden Gophers. No. Fucking Kansas State at Texas. Texas -7 last I checked. Holy shit. Texas fell off the fucking face of the earth. Oh, man. They ain't even in the fucking top 25 anymore. Oh, man. Shout out to Tom Herman for talking all that shit after they won the Sugar Bowl last year. We're back, babe. No, you let every fucking Texas Longhorn fan down. Sorry, Nate, about that one.
Shout out boy Nate, cameraman.
They're coming off a loss to TCU last week, 37-27. So disappointing season if you're a Texas fan, for sure. After last year, definitely not happy with Tom Herman. Fuck. Kansas State responded very well after the Oklahoma game.
They did.
Beat the dog piss out of Kansas in front of like the first sold out crowd.
I expected them to win, but not by that
much. They
much.
beat Kansas in the first sold out crowd in I don't know how many years at Kansas. I mean, their defense is fucking ranked 18th in the nation against the pass. I think that's gonna be the difference maker.
Yeah.
I think Texas knows they gotta fucking go and win. But if you're an Oklahoma fan, man, that Kansas State loss is looking a lot better. They came in ranked at 20th in the playoff rankings.
Was it?
So I mean, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're sitting at 9. You gotta be thinking, hey, we need you guys to fucking win this game too.
Yeah.
But that's all I got on that game, man. I like Kansas State. I think I'm going to take them with the upset.
You take with the upset?
Yeah.
Outright win? Okay.
They're riding hot. They got something brewing.
That's
Skylar Thompson.
That's what worries me.
Skylar Thompson got them boys playing some ball.
That's what worries me with these Big 12 teams, though. Big 12 teams, when it's not an Oklahoma team, they like to just give it up easy. They like to just go in on a high horse and just not be ready for that week and end up losing. It worries me that they're playing at Texas. Texas, they're great at home. They do have a good home atmosphere. I did have that written down about their defense, though. Their pass defense is great. I think Texas struggles against Kansas State big time. And Texas defense, we see, is not very good this season. They've had a lot of injuries, don't get me wrong, but I think Kansas State's able to easily stay with Texas. I have Kansas State plus 6.5 on spread, not outright, because I feel like at home that Texas will be able to get it done. But I do think Kansas State covers at 6.5 points.
I think that is fucking stupid as fuck. But I will say,
you just said Kansas State wins.
Yeah.
I'm saying Kansas State covers the spread.
Oh yeah.
At 6.5 points.
Sorry, coach. Anyways, as I was saying, Kansas State gonna win it all.
The whole Big 12.
The whole
Forget about them.
National championship.
Baylor Bears, boy.
Who they play? That's why they're ranked like 13.
They already beat K-State. What do you mean? Baylor beat them 31-12.
This is a new K-State team.
Yeah. Right on your high horse, right now talking about Kansas State.
Kansas State is going to win the national championship. Call it right now. All right, they're really not.
Gotta make it to the rankings first.
Hey, they're ranked 20th. Calm down.
Was it 2 loss? They got 2 losses.
And who? Kansas State. Yeah. Not bad. Not a bad 2-loss team. But if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're gonna be like, "Fuck, we need these motherfuckers to keep winning."
Yeah. You definitely want Kansas State to win out if you're.
All right, we got Iowa State at Oklahoma -14. I'm gonna go on the record and say Iowa State is the biggest upset team in the Big 12.
They are, especially against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Especially
So,
against Oklahoma.
if you're an Oklahoma fan, you better hold your fucking breath on this one because
The past 3 times that they have played, it's been decided by, I think let's see what I wrote down. By 10 points or less, Oklahoma's a 14-point favorite in this game. I don't know why. And the last time they played at Oklahoma, Iowa State had the upset.
yeah, well, I mean, they're always sneaky. Quarterback Brock Purdy for Iowa State has 2,500 yards passing this year, over 2,500 yards passing. How is Oklahoma? My thing is how is Oklahoma going to respond to the fucking upset? And they just came off a bye week. Where's the mindset? I mean, everybody knows where Jalen Hurts' mindset is, but he can only do so much. You can't outscore fucking everybody. Defense has definitely got to step it up because, man, let's be honest, that defense did not show up against Kansas State. I don't even know if they got off the fucking bus.
Yeah, that was
mentally.
I thought the defense was stepping up this season compared to their previous season.
They were.
Yeah, and then K-State just completely just shot that out the window. I was like, where did this defense go? Like you said, they get off the bus. It was awful.
But I mean, Oklahoma's got the #1 offense in the country.
Yeah.
You can always rely. Well, you can't always rely. You can rely on them putting up points, but you can't rely on their defense to make enough stops.
That's true. So
Iowa State's defense, man, they allow them 226 passing yards a game, 69th in the country. I'm gonna roll with Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns. I think they respond well just because of who's at quarterback.
Yeah, I got a big factor also. Oklahoma has not lost consecutive regular season games since 1999.
That's a good factoid for your
There you go.
factuary,
Oklahoma
son.
clearly wins this game. Question is if they cover. I think they do. I think, after that loss, I think the biggest thing on their mind right now is we got to get this defense back in order. Defense is going to be back in order. Oklahoma, like you said, they're going to cover the 14 points.
Cover that ass.
On to the next one. Big game. Calling it game of the century. LSU, ranked number 2.
Definitely the game of the century.
Against Bama.
At least the game of this decade. Let's go on the record right now. LSU hadn't beat Bama since 2011, and that was the year of the rematch in the national championship, where LSU did not cross the fucking 50-yard line. So, LSU fans are asking, is this our year? Is this our year? Well, fact is, this is your best chance is this year to fucking finally get that little brother title off you.
Once they lose Joe Burrow, it's all gone for them.
Joe Burrow is the best thing that ever happened to LSU. Last year, they fucking just embarrassed themselves, really, losing 29-0. But you have got to look at Alabama's side. How healthy is Tua? It's not his plant foot, it's his right foot. But if they get some pressure and get him moving early, it could be trouble for Alabama. I'm not saying Mac Jones isn't capable, but I mean LSU.
I'm saying Mac Jones isn't capable.
You
not with all that pressure on him. No, I don't think so.
I mean, what kind of pressure did they really show?
I don't mean pressure as in like on the quarterback. I mean pressure as in huge game for him.
Oh no, I think he would be okay.
I don't.
I think LSU has to have success running because they can't drop back and throw 50 times against Alabama. Yet I don't think. Yet again, everybody says this. Bama's defense isn't as great as it always is. This year, really, man, if you look at it across the board, they haven't been dominant, even in little games that they should be dominant in, like they usually are. They haven't dominated like we're used to seeing. But LSU's starting linebacker, he dipped out of the team. Grant Delpit hasn't even been. He missed 4 days of practice.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Those are big questions for this game.
And if you're an Alabama fan, I don't give a fuck what you got to say about what I'm about to say. If you do not win this game, you're not in the playoff. You are not in the playoff. It doesn't matter.
This is not a repeat of 2 years ago, and they got
there's too much shit going on in the top 6.
Yeah.
Plus your strength of schedule, and y'all are gonna be like, well, what do you mean? We can't make our own schedule. Nick Saban even said that. Yeah, I get it, but the strength of schedule's not there. I'm not bitching at you or Nick Saban because he doesn't make the schedule. But you're not making the playoff unless
you don't have an argument. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
There's no argument you can make when you lose to a team, LSU, at home. This big of a game when you've played absolutely nobody else this season. You won't be playing anybody else except for Auburn, who we're seeing is not that great. Auburn has potential, but it's just not this year.
Yeah.
So that would be arguably your only good win if you lost this game to an Auburn team that isn't up there with, they're not even top 10 anymore.
It's bottom line, it's a fucking must win for Alabama. They gotta win. And I think for them to do that, man, Tua's got to just say fuck it because they got basically a bye week next week. They play fucking who knows who. He's got to put it all on line, hurt or not. If he gets banged up, he'll sit out next week. He's got to play and win this game.
Yep.
And then, worst case scenario, they roll the dice for a couple series with Mac Jones against Auburn. I know that's looking far ahead, but if they win this game, Tua gets banged up, he can't have another one of those fancy-ass surgeries. I mean, not everybody can afford that. If that was the case, every fucking college football player would get it.
Yeah, see.
But LSU, man, if you're looking as an LSU fan, this is the year. Their offense is together. Their running game is pretty solid, but their passing game has never been this fucking good.
No.
Especially the year that they beat them.
I think the best that we've seen their offense and passing wise when they had Zach Mettenberger, and even then it's not even comparable to the pass game they have now. I mean, Joe Burrow's putting up Heisman numbers. He's probably the Heisman favorite at this point. And like you said, it's their best opportunity to win this game. So who you got?
I want to hear what you got, motherfucker. Even if Alabama loses on a last-second field goal, I will be shocked if they still make the playoff, regardless how the tables turn.
I still say they can't. It's just there's too many, especially just how past playoffs have been with 2 SEC teams or not. Like there's going to be so much just arguments towards the committee if they try and place an Alabama team that has played nobody else besides this LSU team, and if they lose. I just think the biggest question is probably just Tua's health. Like how he's not your typical dual threat quarterback. He's a pocket passer, but he has mobility in the pocket. That's the big thing. He's able to move around in the pocket, and he's able to give his receivers time to get open so that he can hit them, when they're open. But is he going to be able to do that with that ankle? Last season, when he got hurt in the SEC championship game and had to have surgery, he gave himself it was like a month or something, and even when he played against Oklahoma, he said he was at about 85% was what he was closer to. He's gotten 3 weeks maybe? Not even that, maybe two or three, maybe, and
not even that.
It's pushing it, man. But I gotta give it though. I think the fact that all the talk in the media has been, Bama's defense wasn't been this season. I think that was going to be a strong point for Saban over this bye week. I think I'm going with the coach here. I'm going with Saban. Bama gets it done at home. However, I would not lock that in. I think my locking for this is the under. They have the over-under 65 points. I got to say the under. I think this is going to be more of a defensive battle between these teams, just like it has been historically. Especially with Tua being hurt, the defense is going to have to step up no matter how you look at it. And I think they do. I think Auburn's defense made a blueprint on how to at least slow down that LSU offense. And Bama's going to take it, Saban's going to take it, and run with it. I think Bama pulls it out, but I would for sure pick the under 65 points in this game. Lock it up.
lock it the fuck up. Take that under, because I think it's going to be under. But Joe Brady and Joe Burrow are on points, son. And as an LSU fan, this is y'all's year. Y'all going to take down the mighty Bama and roll in to the SEC Championship. I'm going with LSU.
You're following America. I think everyone's picking LSU.
I think this is and I'm not like everybody else. I don't say it's their fucking year every year. This is the best this fucking offense has ever looked, and they're not playing the best Alabama defense that they've ever faced. Mm-hmm. I'm rolling with LSU. I'm not. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, but I'm not picking a fucking. I'm not going to go with the point spread, but I'm taking LSU outright. I think it's not going to be too high. I mean, it'll definitely be under 65.
Yeah,
for sure.
Agreed in there. Agreed at that point.
Well, I'm taking it. Go Tigers! Go Tigers!
If this was at LSU, I would be taking LSU all day. At Bama.
I think this is the first time
the coach, man. I cannot go against Nick Saban at home. I think they're the past times at home.
They lost
10-0 straight up at home the past 10 games. That's.
I think his home record is like 74-4.
Yeah,
but we're gonna make it 74-5 this Saturday, only because it's a 2:30 game.
I'll be excited next week.
It's a 2:30 game.
I'll be excited next week when we talk about you losing that one.
All right, I'm gonna put a fucking fat ass W.
All right, I will too, because we all know it's gonna be the under, so it'll be a W.
All right, let's jump into our fucking quick picks. College football. Got Vanderbilt. Florida minus 26. As a Florida fan, should be worried about this game. This game always haunts us every year, just like the Missouri game. I'm worried. I'm gonna just pick Florida outright because we could win by 3 or 33. So I'm just gonna roll with my Gators outright. I don't trust them, especially after the heartbreaking loss. I wouldn't even call it heartbreaking. I just called it a fucking ass whipping against Georgia last week. But what you got on that?
It wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad.
I would say we were pretty.
Score does not reflect on the fucking performance.
I'm gonna go with a quick pick. Fucking Louisville at Miami. I'm gonna go.
Ooh,
I've gone against Miami the past 2 weeks. They've won both times.
Yep.
That Louisville offense kind of scares me, but they've also not seen the defensive front of Miami, or just the defense. Period. Miami playing at home. They're rolling high right now. I'm going Miami at home against Louisville outright. You picked that one or what?
Fuck yeah, I picked that one. John Wiggins, where you at?
Got to
picking
shout out.
you.
Got to.
I
had to do my research this week. I've been forgetting the past 2 weeks.
I think they got a little something brewing with the offense. Not Jaron Williams. He's at QB, man. He's kind of got it in a rhythm. I'm going Miami outright as well because you can't trust them with a spread. But just that 6.5 mark, man, it's kind of risky. But I'm going Miami outright as well.
Louisville likes to run the football too.
Yeah.
Miami's rush defense is ranked 17th in the country, so big factor in this game.
Right.
Big factor. On to the next one. Who you got next?
I got Baylor -2 at TCU.
I like it. I like it. I think last Thursday, I think that close call against West Virginia. You got to consider the factors. It was Halloween. It's a Thursday night football game. Nobody likes the Thursday night college football games. Nobody really enjoys them. I think, the offense didn't look good in that game at all. I think their offense gets it rolling in this game, and they beat TCU by more than 2.5, more than 2. What was it, 2?
Yeah, -2.
Yeah, I picked Baylor -2 in that game.
That's gonna be a tough one to stay away from if I was a bet man, but I'm not because I'm not a gambler. Psych! Gambler. Taking Baylor. Plus, -7. Taking Baylor by a touchdown in this bitch.
So you're taking Baylor on the -2. You just think they're going to win by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, gotcha. I agree. But, yeah, Baylor -2. Let's talk UAB at Southern Miss right now. Shout out to the boy, Hunter Martin,
We out
USM
here.
grad, Southern Miss to the top. I actually didn't have a pick in this game because
What? I picked.
the thing is Southern Miss is a 4.5-point favorite. I think at home they will be able to pull that off. I do think that they win. However, Southern's defense is just awful. Their defense is terrible.
Pretty fucking
Let's
solid.
be honest. UAB's strength of schedule, UAB has not played.
Hold on, time out. Let's be honest. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's be honest. For real. But Southern Miss does have a great pass game. They're ranked 10th in the country. I mean, who knows if that's because they just don't have a run game or whatever. But I think the fact that Southern Miss is terrible on defense and they have such a great passing game, I think this goes over 50.5. That's what the over-under was for me when I was doing my research. And I think this game goes over 50.5. That's my pick. On to you.
Sorry, Hunter. Bad news. Just got a call from my little friend. Taking UAB by 10. I don't know what UAB's been on a fucking roll, man. They look good.
We should be by Tennessee like 30-7 now.
We're talking about Tennessee and UAB. I would hope they would lose to Tennessee by that much. I mean, keep in mind we're not going to depth with these. This is our quick picks.
Yeah.
Kind of our locks for the week.
Just got little notes.
Yeah, but I'm jumping right in to Wake Forest -2.5 at Virginia Tech. Wake Forest is 7-1 this year, looking pretty solid. Virginia Tech upset.
Really?
Upset.
What was the spread again?
2.5.
I got Wake Forest 2.5.
Stupid.
Wake Forest surprised me last week by blowing out NC State like they did. I just think they keep it rolling.
NC State, Memphis State. Hokies by 90.
We will see.
Fuck out
I
of
need to
here,
write that down.
son.
I don't have that.
Fuck out of here, son. Iowa, Wisconsin, two lost Big Ten teams. Wisconsin checked in at 16 in the playoff rankings, and Iowa at 18, I think. Fact check that, son. Mr. Nate, appreciate it. I believe. Wisconsin 16, Iowa 18. Wisconsin is a 9.5-point favorite. Man, that's tough. I mean, I think Jonathan Taylor is great. Iowa's defense is not great.
Wisconsin 16, Iowa 18.
Okay. So I was right. But yeah, Wisconsin, they got to get it going. Jonathan Taylor's fucking great. He would be great if they had a better quarterback, but I'm going to take Wisconsin outright. I don't think Iowa fucking... Iowa wants to show up whenever they play Ohio State.
Yeah, and
or a bigger team. I mean, it is what it is. I'm rolling with them.
Iowa's offense is literal just horse duty on the side of the road. They're terrible. They're ranked 90th in the country in scoring offense at 25 points per game. Wisconsin has the number one scoring defense at 7.5 points per game. I just don't think Iowa scores much. Now, Iowa does have a pretty decent rush defense. I think they'll be able to get something going against Wisconsin, but I do think also, like you were saying, Wisconsin wins outright. I'm not going to pick on spread, but Wisconsin wins outright. I think they keep their Big Ten championship hopes alive because, they're still in the fight for it because, Minnesota's still got their whole schedule ahead of them. So I think they come in this game and they'll win outright to keep their hopes alive.
Yeah, I guess we'll jump into Missouri at Georgia. Georgia minus 17. I think that's pretty fair for Georgia, considering you never know what Missouri team's going to show up, especially with Kelly Bryant. They've shown flashes of potential. Georgia was under a lot of fire from their shitty play early in this year, but I think home game, night game, 6 p.m., 6 or 6:30.
Have the LEDs going.
Uh,
We started it, just saying.
Man, Georgia, they showed, really, Jake Fromm showed that he could step up and pass because they didn't really have to run the ball against Florida. I like Georgia big in this game. I don't think the spread. I think the spread should be a lot bigger in the favor to Georgia. I like Georgia big against Missouri.
I didn't pick this guy.
Calling it pick because he's a little bitch. He's scared to pick. And then last but not least, Notre Dame minus 8 at Duke. That's fair because Duke has been playing some pretty solid ball.
4 minus what?
8.
I don't know that one.
And Notre Dame is as good as they'll ever be under Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly,
About the same as they already.
yeah, I mean, they got their chance last year. Fucking didn't show up in the playoff, and they're proving it once again who they really are. I mean, I like Notre Dame to cover, but I don't expect them to blow Duke out by any means. I'll take the minus 8 on that game.
I also didn't pick this game either. I did, however, Tennessee against Kentucky. I wasn't even going to mention it because I'm very conflicted about it now. Tennessee's coming off, a couple of big wins. I know Kentucky likes to run the football, and Tennessee's...
Time out. Piss break.
I will continue.
Colin, continue.
I would say, I'm going to go with Tennessee straight up. I think they've looked good the past couple of games. I know they're a little beat up, like Jeremy Pruitt was saying. Kentucky likes to run the football, and Tennessee's rush defense has done well the past 2 games, and one was against South Carolina, who also likes to run the football. However, this game is at Kentucky, which is one of the reasons I was very conflicted about it. But I think I'm going to go with Tennessee straight up in this game. I think it also doesn't have to pick for this game either. So I think we're going to move on. Yep. We're going to move on now to NFL. Start off. First game we got listed here is Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans is a 13-point favorite. Over/under is 52 points.
Let's be honest out here.
And, I'll go ahead and say I'm an Atlanta fan, and I'm disappointed in this entire season. I'm disappointed in our coach, disappointed in our quarterback. I'm disappointed in just
All around
our whole team. I think New Orleans wins it easy at home. It's a huge rivalry. They're going to win by probably 20 points. So I'm going New Orleans on spread 13 points. Easy. I've been right so far for every pick that we talked about Atlanta, because I know how trash that Atlanta team is this year. Believe me when I say New Orleans will win by more than 13 points.
I'm going to take the minus 13 on that game. Atlanta's got to do something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they made a lot of coaching changes this week, but I think they're giving Dan Quinn the benefit of the doubt. I thought they gave it to him last year with all the defensive injuries they had, because it was across the board on defense last year. But really, this year, I mean, it has nothing to do with the fucking offense. I mean, you got the receiving core is fucking phenomenal. I mean, I think they overpaid Freeman.
Big time. And we had the opportunity to trade him
Yeah.
and didn't take it. Thomas
I
Dimitrov
think
needs to go.
they should have kept Tevin Coleman. But anyways, that's for another discussion. But I'm taking New Orleans minus 13 in that game.
Thomas Dimitrov needs to go.
The thing is, Atlanta's offense will get it going, but when it does get going, it gets going too late. It seems like this year. So
when the opposing teams give up,
yeah,
or when they're just being conservative.
it's just too little, too late with them. But Carolina and Green Bay minus 5. Kyle Allen for Carolina's playing pretty well. I think Cam Newton's definitely, with him being on the IR, he's on his way out.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Carolina, you're better off without Cam. Go ahead. Give your comments. Have my head for it, but Cam Newton, NFL, not his. After that one season where the MVP season, it ain't his forte anymore. So
if he gets in the right system, he will be okay. But I mean, you got to go Green Bay.
he just whines too much, man.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he whines too much. He never really got healthy to begin with, so fuck it. I'm going Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is too big, man. He takes his game by a touchdown.
I got Green Bay straight up. I'm not going to take the points, but I do have Green Bay straight up in this game. Especially with being at Green Bay. I think they should cover the points, but I'm just going to be safe and say they went outright. On to the next one. We got the Rams at Pittsburgh.
Rams are a minus 3.5 is preposterous.
You know,
I know the Rams have not played very well this year, but against Pittsburgh,
well, you got to give it to Pittsburgh, man. They've looked decent this season without Big Ben.
yeah,
But what's the? I don't know what the ratings are. What 4-2 maybe or no?
who?
No, that ain't right.
Pittsburgh? No,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh definitely 3-6, I think. 3-5. Fact check that for me, Nate.
I'll just check it real quick.
I believe Pittsburgh record's 3-6, 3-5.
Maybe they're 4-4.
Mm.
Oh.
They're a lot better than expected. Remember, Mason Rudolph missed 2
Yeah, they're
games.
4-4. The Rams are 5-3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about my Pittsburgh Steelers fans out here. Yeah, man. This isn't the Rams team that's going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I can tell you that.
No, not at all. They're
I
not the same.
think Jared Goff is playing like the Jared Goff everybody was worried about when he got drafted by the Rams.
Yeah, with that run
He's
game
not
not going, he doesn't look as good.
No, and Todd Gurley's been awfully quiet. But I'm still taking the fucking Rams outright because Pittsburgh, they do a lot of dink and dunk bullshit. We got to take them. I mean, I'm just going fucking Rams, man. I mean, can't do nothing about it.
I agree. I think actually the deciding factor for me for this game was the way that Pittsburgh played Miami. They just didn't look good. I think Miami looked more impressive to me than Pittsburgh did, just knowing how bad Miami actually is. And they actually looked decent in that game. I'm going to have to go with the Rams. I think Pittsburgh defense will have more trouble with this Rams offense.
Oh, yeah.
And also, Mason Rudolph is going to have more trouble against Aaron Donald in that defensive front for the Rams.
Aaron Donald is a fucking savage.
He is. Aaron Donald, man.
And the last two biggest games of the NFL week, Vikings at Dallas minus 3. It really comes down to which Kirk Cousins is going to show up and which Dak Prescott is going to show up. It could really go either way. As we've seen, it's really the fucking Vikings and Kirk Cousins. He's more inconsistent. He definitely overpaid, in my opinion. I'm taking Dallas to cover that minus 3. I think it's going to be a low scoring game at that. I don't think it's going to be really. It's a Sunday night game too. So
Yeah. Yep. I feel like Dallas has like all the night games and Monday night games.
America's team, baby.
That's stupid. That's just stupid.
Anyways, yeah, man, I got Dallas -3 in this bitch. So
I got Dallas straight up. I just think Dallas's defense will be much better against a Kirk Cousins built offense in the Vikings.
yeah,
I think Dallas's offense has much more potential. Even though the Vikings defense is actually very good, I just think they just have a much higher ceiling than what a Kirk Cousins built offense does in the Vikings. So I got to go Dallas at home on a Sunday night football game. So Dallas outright. I'm not going to take the points because, like Austin said, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, probably determined by a good 3 points or so. So I'm going to say Dallas outright. On to the Monday night football game. We got Seattle at San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is still the only undefeated team left in the NFL.
Sitting at a -6.
Yep.
And regardless of any NFL player that's an MVP candidate is Russell Wilson. He's number one. I don't give a fuck who you are. He's been putting up fucking great numbers. And I know it's in San Francisco, -6, but I'm going Seattle to get it done outright against. I'm not picking any points on this one, but I like Seattle in a close one. Really close.
Okay. I disagree. I'm going to go San Francisco.
You riding high on that defense, son. Jimmy
I am.
G's finna face one.
I wouldn't say Seattle's defense is that great. That's why I'm picking the 49ers. I think their defense is much, much better than Seattle's defense. Jimmy G just got Emmanuel Sanders. He's able to do more with that offense. It's not just about the run game and the defense. He's able to actually spread the field a little bit. He showed that whenever they played. What was it? Yeah, that's also another thing is they had a much bigger break in between games here. They played last Thursday. I think that's another big factor. So I got 49ers straight up. Not going to go on the points. Russell Wilson, like you said, MVP candidate. He's looking great this year. Seattle's offense looks good. Him and Tyler Lockett, that combo is just it's powerful. It's probably going to be one of the better offenses that the 49ers have played this season. But I do think that 49ers defense will win it for this game, and I think 49ers win this outright.
Yeah, that's a fucking stupid pick. Anyways, they're going down, son. Got Russell Wilson in this bitch.
All right. He's only saying that because he got Russell Wilson on his fantasy. But I guess you took an L a couple weeks ago against me in
last
fantasy.
week by 1 point.
It's the week before last week.
What?
Yeah, because I played Rupel this past week and
Same shit.
tore his butt up.
Oh my god, fuck, he sucks.
Well, I think he put up like 50 points total.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna try to tighten up on our live stream so we won't have to upload any more videos. But for anybody who is just now seeing us, getting involved with us as a sports show, I hope you enjoy it. Give us feedback and all that other shit, how we can improve for y'all's sake. Follow our Instagram at Let's Be Honest Sports. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're gonna have a giveaway for a T-shirt right here soon.
Yeah, we haven't figured out, how we're gonna go about doing that, but just know that it's coming.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about the shirts. Let us know, like you said, feedback on the videos, feedback on things we can do to improve. Yeah, we're here for y'all. So
yeah,
we have fun sitting here talking sports, but man, we want to be active with our listeners. So
oh yeah, and then our cameraman Nate Krebs, he's always out here. Let him know. He's got his own Instagram, all that shit. So, but I want to end this on this podcast on a sensitive note. Not really sensitive, but it's something to spread awareness for everybody. UFC heavyweight Walt Harris His daughter's been missing since October 24th. Apparently went on a blind date through a dating website in Auburn, Alabama, I believe.
I did hear about this.
And today an arrest warrant was made, and they're looking for the guy. They got a picture, a potential suspect. But for anybody out there with daughters, moms, it doesn't matter your age as a woman, this shit needs to be addressed. Human sex trafficking is real and alive. And so, as for me with a daughter, she's going on 1.5 years old. You know, this shit's real. They'll take kids from her age to fucking 40. It doesn't matter. But if anybody so happens to come across this and knows anything about that could help lead to his daughter Anaya's founding, it would be greatly appreciated by him, truly, because he just withdrew from his fight for this. And I know we don't usually get really, we're a different kind of sports show, but this shit's fucking serious, man. There's sick motherfuckers out there, and we need to figure out this problem. But if y'all know anything, let's figure it out and get it down. And that's all I got to say on that note, man. I think it's a very sensitive subject, but it needs to be addressed, you know.
Yeah, I agree. So also, you know, we're trying to get more content out to y'all. We're trying to, you know, talk about each other's schedules to maybe somehow make another video so these things are an 1.5 hours long, so you don't have to sit here for that long and listen to it. Maybe split some things up. Like I said earlier, we want feedback, so let us know how y'all think that we could improve it or separate things, like maybe do, you know, reactions to the weekend earlier in the week or something like that. Just let us know. We really are trying to make this thing grow and get bigger, and hopefully just continue to make it to y'all's liking.
Yeah.
So
we're here to go to the top, and we want to bring y'all with us. Let's Be Honest Sports, we out here.